Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is that time again, the badge and close the vault. If you are hearing me now, you are within the SCIIF International Podcast. For those new to the SCIIF, it stands for Situations and Conversations Inspire Intellectual Futures. We are officially worldwide with a show that is for everyone needing that real field from the field. The SCIIF crew right here, expeditious, battle-tested, block-approved, resiliency proven. They'll tell you they just a bunch of freelancers who are uplifting with kindness, but who we are in the inspirational, motivation, and entertainment business. That's the vibe we're putting off into the world, even in the midst of a world that sometimes does not do the same for us. Regardless, we're gonna keep this thing going. We're gonna put that energy out there. Why? Strictly for the culture. This week, we're doing a huge shout out for the veterans who have served in our United States military, a true group of one percenters who we'll be honoring throughout this episode. This one is for you. One shout out for them. With the disclaimer, gotta let you know the opinions expressed are our own and do not necessarily reflect any organization, especially U.S. government agencies, Department of War, anything else. We're just out here vibing, having a good time, and we hope you guys will do the same with us. I'll be remiss if I didn't introduce the crew for you guys, so let's start the round robin. Of course, you got me, the host and facilitator of this thing, Christian the Hype Man Sledge. You have the co-host from the Noya, baby. We got B, Rabble Rouser.
What's
up? I got my man out there playing center from El Paso, Texas. That's G Money Stack, Justin G Money Stack.
Hey,
You doing good out there, my man?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here.
Next up, we got Brooklyn. We go hard. We got Nat Cobbins out there, sister in arms doing it.
Welcome to Brooklyn.
We got out there from the VA, we got Lorraine, L.A., M.F. Johnson, and do not ask her what that means, because if you say that, she gonna cuss you out. So what's going on out there, Lorraine? You doing good?
Doing good.
Good. We're gonna have a good time. And of course, last but not least, we have our show's fearless leader, the one-woman crowd. She's always in style. Michaela Marate.
Hello.
You doing good out there?
Yes, sir. Always.
Well, I know you got some questions for us, but hey, some of this content out here might be too positive, uplifting for some, might create some conflicts within your souls, but this is a podcast in the name of the Most High. We are not guilty. We are not guilty. Kayla, our fearless leader, what question do you have for me, the chief, and the colonel, ma'am?
All right. So just to get it started, how was your guys' recruiting process or process joining the military?
You have the ability to ask us anything in the world. We're going to talk about some recruitment. That's a soft pitch for us. We thought it was going to be a lot more complicated, but we're going to take care of you today. So basically, let's think about what's driving recruitment right now, or at least back in the day. So back in the day, that was Iraq, Afghanistan. It was the Middle East, the war in the Middle East. That's what was going on at the time. But honestly, for me, what got me in there was just getting off the block. I was just trying to get off the streets of Southeast San Diego. I'm out of the south side of Chicago. I knew there was more out there for me. I just didn't know what that was. I had no idea what I was doing. So that's why I went straight to the military. My dad always said, hey, go to the Air Force. Because he was Navy. He was like, go this direction. Don't trust me, just do it. I know I had to go through a lot of hoops and a lot of jumps in order to get there. There's a lot of things that I had to traverse, to be honest. Like, we had so many filters. People had to pass the ASVAB. People had to have drug testing. They had to go through that. They had to have a lot of different things to make sure that they were even qualified to go to the Air Force side of things. And believe it or not, I got a story for that for another day. But a couple of my recruiters didn't even think that I was, just based off how I was dressing, how I was looking. They didn't think I was, Air Force material. So I blew that ASVAB out of the water. Because they didn't know I went to one of the best high schools out there in Chicago, Illinois. They didn't know.
Okay.
So I blew that out of the water, and then they let me do what I wanted. So we was good. So that was my story. I think there's a lot to it, but keeping me in was man, they always took care of my family. They always took care of everything. I didn't have to worry about a lot. But what do you guys think out there? Chief, what you got?
Hey, man. So first off, I just want to say he lied. The recruiter lied, man. Like, the recruiter will tell you some stuff. Hey, man, do this, do that. Similar to your story, Chris, man. I wanted to get up out of the streets and know you, right? I wanted to get off the block. get out the night war and get to the military and, just have my own spot, kind of chart my own path. When I went to the recruiter, I'm talking to the recruiter and he's like, hey, go open general. You trying to leave right now? I was like, I'm trying to leave right now. He said, go open general. And when you go open general, he was like, look at all these jobs you can do. You can do any of these jobs because you qualify, because your ASVAB scores blew it out the water. I'm good. I'm gravy. I said, you know what? I'm gravy, baby. Let's go. I show up, open general. I think this is the second week of training, bro. The guy in there, he calls me a training rouser. Training rouser reports his order. Hey, pick out of these 2 jobs. I was like, wait, sir, there's only 2 jobs on here. My recruiter said I could do any of these jobs because I qualify. SecFo, or supply management. Supply management. So those were the 2.
Wow.
And I chose supply because my friend was security forces. He was like, bro, I got duped. And then the rest is history from there. And what kept me in the military all these previous years is at every junction where it was an opportunity for me to go a different route, the Air Force somehow opened a doorway to me doing something different. Because I've done several different careers within the military. That's what I always tell the airmen. The difference between the military in general and Wells Fargo or some other banking institution, USAA, anything like that. If you're an accountant there, if you leave that job, you're going to probably be an accountant at a different law firm or financial institution. But within the Air Force, as long as you have the aptitude, we're going to put you through the training, train you up. No experience necessary. You just have to have the aptitude. And that's what's kept me in the Air Force for this long.
What you got, Lorraine? What you got out there? You a different path. Tell us. Talk to it.
Absolutely. So I was a senior in high school. I thought I had my whole entire life planned out. I thought I wanted to be an attorney or I wanted to be an anchor on CNN. And my mom told me, no, you want to pay for this expensive school, you're going to join the military and do something. It's like, all right, I knew I wanted to be a leader or do something with leadership in some capacity. And so I went to Mary Baldwin College that had the only all-female cadet corps in the country that did Air Force ROTC through Virginia Military Institute, which 1995 Supreme Court case, they had to end up accepting women and come up with an alternative program. So I was a part of both of those programs. But funny story, I started out in Army ROTC my first semester of college. And they talked a little bit too much about guns for me. And then ironically,
and ironically, where did you go? Where did you end up going?
Came in charge of a weapon system much more lethal than a gun, right? So
don't be talking about it.
that is my story. Air Force ROTC, here I come. 14 years later, still in.
Love it.
What kept you going through, Lorraine? I mean, you still in the game. You got about to put on Lieutenant Colonel here soon. What kept you in the game?
Stability, security, the paycheck. It's pretty nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to talk about what's going on right now, but I will say the people, right? The people are really what make it worth coming to work every day, and the team that I get to be amongst and just excelling as much as I can.
Got you. So I know for a fact that, I mean, we talked about what's keeping people in. I kind of want to throw another alley-oop to you guys and like what's sending people away. We want to keep talent, right? We want to hold on to talent, but I think we could argue that we struggle sometimes keeping the talent as we go up in rank and as time goes by. One thing I kind of want to kind of throw out at some people who are probably on the fence with retention is family lifestyle issues. There might be
Absolutely.
compatibility with family issues or, mobility tempo, quality of life, career progression, or just personal experiences that are impacting their morale. So my questions to you guys are, have you guys seen or have you guys experienced, do you guys see or experience any of those which kind of had you guys on the fence that kind of pulled and tugged on your retention, retainability? Did you guys have any experiences there?
Leadership. This is a big one. Leadership.
Yeah.
Bad leaders is pushing a lot of people out. You have that one bad experience at that one base and you're like, is this the rest of the Air Force? And you're like, I think I'm just going to get out. And
Yeah.
I almost did the same, but I was like, you know what? Let me try another base. Let me see if there's something that's different. And it was, and I stayed in. Sometimes you just have that bad leadership that push all the good people out of the Air Force, and it sucks.
When leadership's priorities do not align with your own, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What else you guys
So
got out
for
there?
me, it would be the family dynamic. Being at OSAN, especially as a first assignment, a lot of my friends, junior enlisted, this is their first time away from their family. And because OSAN is a short tour, this is their first time away from like kids or their spouse, or even like young airmen, like 18, 19, are away from their parents. And they're not just away, just the stateside over. We're countries away. And being away from family, I know that a lot of my friends are like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't want to stay in. I want to leave the military. I didn't realize it was going to be like this. And joining the military, no one was like, you might get a short tour. You might be away from your family this amount of time. So I think that the family dynamic is a difficult thing about the military that not a lot of people talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Hype, what I could
So-
say for me, being the older elder statesman, I'm an old guy now. So what's helping me to transition and hit the retirement button now at this stage in my career is the fact that I have my family and getting my family in a position where I want to be there for the games. I want to go to the, parent teacher conferences. I want to be able to go to the field trips and do all the things that I sacrificed over these last 22 years. Now I'm at a point where, all right, what am I going to do? Because in the next couple of years, let's say I decide to continue on in my Air Force journey, I'm going to have to PCS. So that means uproot everybody.
Mhm.
My oldest is about to start high school. That's a problem. My youngest, other two girls, they're going to go into junior high. And then now they finally have friends, they have neighbors that they love, and all these different things. So that really is causing me consternation just to even remain in the military at all. I'm just like, I can't do it at this point because their voice weighs more on me than anything else. Back in the day, our personal experience with toxic leadership at a squadron that will remain unnamed, right? Where we became tight and stuff like that. There's a lot of toxicity rolling around in there. And, like we talked about in a previous episode, hey, the open door is a trap. Hey, I got an open door. Come on in, bro. Come on. Everything you got.
What Nat tell you about that open door? What Nat
That
tell
open
you about
door
that
is,
open door?
don't go in that open door.
I
Don't
told him,
go.
I said, what good is an open door if nobody walks through it? I said, that's what you
That's
taught me.
right.
That's what
That's
you
right.
taught me.
Hey, guess what?
Absolutely.
Don't walk through in that other squadron. Hey, you walk through, you might get
Not
your
in
stuff
that
blown off.
squadron.
You might get your
Lord,
stuff
they need to
blown
close
off.
the door in that squadron.
Close the door, deactivate the squadron. But
Yeah.
like to Stack's point, toxic leadership, man, just in general, and not being an authentic person, man. I think what has served me well throughout the years is that authenticity and just being who I am. Because what you see here is what I am at the unit, what
Right.
I've been since you met me. So I'm not putting on this mask, for the military. I'm just what I stand for is what I stand for at work and at home. So that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a
Amen.
lot of people are they look at that and then they see the private sector. That's one of the things that's in my cross check too. I see we lose a lot of people towards the GS side of the house, or they find the contractors, Lockheed, the big heavy hitters that are just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You could do this over there, deal with X, Y, and Z, whatever leadership challenges you have, or you can just come kick it with us. And
Right.
you just go to work and you work on that specific one thing, and it looks different. So it is hard to retain that talent we want to keep. And so it is our responsibility as leaders to be able to provide the facilitation that if we want to retain that talent, we got to make sure that we are engaging with those people, providing the right positive supervision, the vectoring, the patterns, that talent management. We lose a lot of people towards that too,
Mhm.
where they feel like their talent's not being used like it's supposed to because we didn't even get a chance to get to know the kids, right? You know what I mean? Like we really didn't, because we got all these things going on, but there's no excuse. These people have supervisors. These people have supervisors and commanders and things like that. So it does take a village to raise that one airman. Even if they want to get out, that's cool, right?
Yep.
But it's a choice that we all made together we were all involved in it, and then we vectored them that way. Versus, no, my supervisor and my leadership team had nothing to do with it. I made that choice on my own because of lack of caring and feeding and whatever the case may be. That can be rough. What I'm saying is, I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen when people kind of like get out. It's just, sometimes it's just an empty hole, right? They didn't get the mentorship or the leadership. But some people actually, like Justin did, took another assignment to get the full 3D picture and say, you know what, this unit ain't like this unit. It's completely different. So that's what's going to make me stay in. I think there's a lot of reasons why people do not stay in. Our challenges in today's Air Force all have to do with shrinking of the applicant pool. Remember, only 1% of the able force or qualified force actually go. So that's all, you're already in the 1%. And then you got to go, go through all the checks, go through all the granularity, go through all the gates, pass all the tests, be fit, look a certain way. You know what I mean? Like there's personal things in the middle of that you got to go through, right? Shaving. Am I willing to do the shaving in order for me to get there? Those are personal choices. All that to just to get to BMT or just to get to
Right.
field training. It's a lot. So I think that just all that encompassing together are the key challenges of recruitment and retention in today's Air Force. And until we get a grip of that, then we're going to have ebbs and flows of talent coming in and out of the Air Force. Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Word.
And
And
when
if
you
I
talk about
can, I'm sorry. Just because something just came to mind. Like, I think before, Chief, you were talking about the do more with less culture, right? And even as we're looking at deployments and how those things are changing, and we're becoming multi-capable airmen, and having to learn multiple mission sets and different things like that, it's like people are feeling burdened. You say, and we need to make time, right, to do what we have to do, but people don't have time. We barely have time for ourselves to take care of the administrivia, the caring and feeding, the quality of life issues. And that is something we have to look at. I know we're looking to automate a lot of things, but the people are still feeling the burden. We feel it on our training, we feel it in our units. So I think that's another thing that's causing people to say, it wasn't like back in the day when we first came in, I had a supervisor that could sit with me and train me on every single thing. That's not how it works now. It's kind of like okay, you got to take the onus and kind of figure things out, which is good and bad because, there needs to be some proactivity, but we need to put more time into investing people, which it's pretty scarce with everything that we're responsible for.
You have, Lorraine.
Well, when you were talking about standards, right? So when we think about that from a recruitment perspective and the ROTC cadets, so you're saying on top of my classes that I already have to take and do well in them, I have to meet these physical fitness standards. I
Yeah.
also have to take this aptitude test, and finding the time to study for that separate from my main studies, it's going to be a lot on them. And so I can see how they're more encouraged to go into the private sector versus the military. And that's definitely going to be a hardship in being able to recruit that talent.
Yeah. So,
And then,
yeah.
Chris, I
What's
just
up?
want to piggyback off of Lorraine. Like she just said, you're in a situation where you have these high standards, and to Nat's point, more with less. And then you also want to erode kind of the benefits package. So that carrot that they stick out in front of you. Now we get into blended retirement. We get into reduction of the SRBs, and we get into a reduction of special duty assignment pay and all the different benefits that could potentially keep you in. They start to kind of slowly whittle away. So now it's not all about the money. So I just want to, make that clear, but it's about being able to secure and take care of your family in
Absolutely.
the proper fashion. So we are in a situation I think it's going to come ahead really, really fast, especially what's on potentially on the horizon with Taiwan, the saber rattling coming from China and stuff like that. So we really are in for a different set of problems in the future. Yep, I want to use ChatGPT. I want to offload all of these different things. So now, the human can focus on other tasks. And we know the tried proven way of making an airman is sitting that airman down, giving them those experiences. So when it comes time to get that jet off the ground or do said task, they have the experiences from their supervisor and their trainer that will help them then build their own experiences and be able to handle high contested environments.
Kayla, did that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, it
See,
did. Thank you so
no,
much.
I mean, good Lord. I mean, you could have asked anything. We just gave you the answer. You know,